I was born into wealth, the kind that cushions your fall before you even learn how to stand. My family's name carried influence, and from childhood, I was surrounded by people who assumed my life would be effortless. But comfort never felt like an achievement to me. I wanted to know what it meant to earn something, to build something that existed because I refused to give up. So while others expected me to simply inherit, I worked. I studied harder than anyone expected, failed more times than I admitted, and rebuilt myself again and again until I created a company that no longer stood in my family's shadow. When it finally grew into a powerful enterprise, respected and feared in equal measure, I knew I had proven something, not to the world, but to myself. In the middle of that journey, I fell in love. He seemed different from the people around me, humble, attentive, supportive. With him, I allowed myself to rest. We married, and soon after, we had a son who became the center of my universe. I believed I had found balance, ambition and love, power and peace. I trusted him with my heart, my home, and my life. That trust nearly killed me. The day everything collapsed began like any other. I left home early, kissed my son's forehead while he slept, and promised myself I'd be back in time for dinner. My driver was off that day, so I drove myself. When I arrived at the parking lot near my office, the air felt wrong. Too still, too heavy. Before I could react, several men emerged from the shadows and rushed toward me. Their movements were swift and practiced, their faces unreadable. I didn't need them to speak to understand their purpose. This wasn't intimidation. This was an execution. Fear surged through me, sharp and paralyzing. One of them raised his weapon, but before he could act, a voice rang out, firm and authoritative. "Stop!" They froze instantly. My name was spoken aloud, and then the man stepped forward. I recognized him immediately, someone I had helped years earlier when he had nothing and no one. I had never asked for gratitude, never imagined our paths would cross like this. "You're lucky," he said calmly, meeting my eyes. "Very lucky. If the person who wanted you dead had hired someone else, you wouldn't be breathing right now." My hands trembled, but I held myself upright. I thanked him and demanded the truth. I needed to know who wanted me gone. He studied me for a long moment before replying. "I can show you," he said, "but it will cost you fear." He explained his plan. We would fake my death. Blood would be spilled, just not mine. The person who ordered the hit wanted proof, and proof would draw them out. Every part of me rebelled at the idea, but another part of me burned with the need to know. I agreed. They laid me gently on the cold ground, splashed the fake blood across my clothes, positioned my body as though life had already left it. I closed my eyes, slowed my breathing, and waited. Time stretched painfully. Then I heard footsteps, hesitant, familiar. A voice I loved. My husband. He didn't cry, he didn't scream. Instead, he laughed softly, a sound filled with relief. "Good," he said. "That's good." He thanked them, then spoke words that shattered everything I thought I knew. He complained that I never respected him, that I made sure everyone knew the wealth and the company were mine. He said people looked down on him because of it. "Now," he said, almost proudly, "everything belongs to me." Each sentence felt like a knife twisting deeper. This was the man I shared my bed with, the father of my child, calmly celebrating my death. "Get up," one of the men said. I opened my eyes and stood. The color drained from my husband's face. His confidence collapsed into terror as reality struck him. He fell to his knees, pleading, apologizing, reaching for me as though love could be rewritten in seconds. They handed me the recording, clear evidence of his betrayal. I felt no urge to scream. No tears came, only clarity. I thanked the men who had saved my life and walked away. I filed for divorce without hesitation. The evidence sent him to prison, where excuses held no power. I focused on my son, on healing, on rebuilding a life grounded in truth. I learned that betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. It often comes from the ones who smile the closest. And I learned that surviving such betrayal doesn't make you weak. It makes you unbreakable